today we're going to be making a goat's cheese tart. Okay, so you're going to need some asparagus tips, so about that many, so about 8 to 10. Okay, you need 150 grams of soft goat's cheese, 3 garlic cloves, not roughly chopped, it's fine, light olive oil, salt, pepper and puff pastry. I've got the light puff pastry because it's a little bit lighter. Okay, so I've got my rapeseed oil here, but I'm going to use the light olive oil today. So we want to put this on. I've already got our baking tray lined for the tarts, and I've got my oven to 200 degrees as well, so it'll make it go a bit quicker. So we're going to put that in. Just a couple of sprays will do. And then we're going to get some of these. Now, asparagus cooks quite quickly, so you need to keep an eye on what you're doing with asparagus. Okay, so our pan's nicely heated. I'm going to pop our asparagus in. Here we go. I'm going to put our garlic in as well. Throw it all in. Okay, now I do apologise again if my voice goes. As you can hear, it's not exactly the best voice at the moment. So if it's a bit quiet, just turn up your volume. Okay, so pop this in. So I've put the olive oil on in it, and I've put the garlic in it, and that's going to go nicely with the asparagus, so, just so that we can get it tasting nice as well. Now, asparagus doesn't take too long to cook, so be careful. We're going to salt and pepper these as well if you want some nice flavours. Some nice flavour. Now I know chefs, they do that really whizzy thing. I can't do that. So we'll end up having it everywhere. Just go whee! All over the kitchen, so there you go. Okay, so these are part cooked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out the pan. The reason why is because they're going to cook in the oven as well. And if you cook it too much, asparagus becomes wilted or really, really thin. So you don't really want that either, I suppose. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there on top of my thing there. So pop it there. Okay, so for the filling, I'm going to tip our goat's cheese in. It's going to break up with this. Get a wooden spoon. Wooden spoons obviously are better for this one. Okay, so get your goat cheese. You want to break it up just a little bit. This has been in the fridge, so that's probably why it's been a bit of a pain. Okay, and we want to season with a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and some herbs, so a bit of thyme. Okay, so that looks good. Now these are really good because you can make these in preparation for when people come, you know, for parties or starters, or even just a light lunch. You can have them. They're really good for picnics as well. And me and Gary were talking about when we went to Hever Castle, and this guy was there, and we had bought like a really nice, because obviously I like cooking, I'd done a really nice picnic for ourselves. He made the biggest mistake of his life. He turned around to his wife, he was looking at his little sandwich, he was looking up at us and looking at his sandwich again, and I was like looking at him thinking, what's he doing? And he went to and turned to his wife and went, how come our picnic isn't as good as their picnic? Whoa, I wouldn't have liked to be in when they got home that night. She went, well, if you don't like my sandwiches then I'll just take them away. So she took his sandwiches away and went off. So me and Gary always have this laugh now every time we go for our picnics, to see who we can outdo. like when we're there, or really annoy someone, because we had that happen to us, so we think it's pretty funny. So there you go. Everything happens to us when we go out. It's quite funny. Okay, so we're going to start making our tart now after my hilarious story. Oh. Right, I might be strong in some points, but opening a bit of packaging is clearly not my strong. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you take this a little bit out of the fridge before you start doing it, otherwise it will just stick and it won't unroll properly. I'm doing ready-made puff pastry. You can, all the chefs do it now. Short crust pastry I can understand, because short crust pastry is really easy to make, but puff pastry, hours, absolute hours. Okay, so I've got, my cutter is this, so we're gonna make our little incisions there. Again, push it down. It doesn't matter if it doesn't do it fully, because we're going to cut around it anyway, so give it a good cut around. Okay, now in order to make your little bit in the middle so it puffs up, do a little square. Okay, I'm roughly doing it. Gary's phone's going off. How lovely. Nice wrestling tune for us all. Okay, so I'm going to make this just a tiny bit bigger. It doesn't matter if you don't fully get it right in the first place, because it will just crisp up anyway. Okay, so pop that there. Okay, I'm going to use my hands because I have washed my hands, but it's going to be easier. Some goat's cheeses are really good. They're like so pliable. This one's more of a harder one, so we're going to do that. I'll take this off. Okay, and we want to work with it quite quickly in a second, because it's going to start getting all sloppy and everything, so put that there. Okay, and I forgot to say earlier on, woo, look at that, we will need an egg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these and I'm going to grab a whisk, and we're going to quickly just put a bit around it, because if we don't, then it's going to, it won't puff up as much, it won't give you the brownness that we want. You can use milk if you want as well. I prefer egg, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to brush it. I've moved it over to here. This baking tray here, if you can't get it, baking sheet is from the actual puff pastry. The whole point of it is that you can actually cook with it on, the pastry on it. So don't worry too much if you can't get it over onto the other one that I did, because it was starting to crumble a little bit. So I thought I better just do what it wants me to do and do that. Okay, so let's get this. Okay, so you see it's all brushed now, all nicely egg washed, and we're going to get a lovely asparagus tips. Now, if you want to cut your asparagus tips a little bit, you can just give it a bit of a chop, chop, chop. See? Okay, and I normally put about 3 on. It doesn't matter if they don't all match. It's not as if you're a master chef, is it? Okay, so there we go. So we're going to put it in for around 20 to, well, 15 to 20 minutes, depending how long it's going to take. it's going to rough up a little bit as well. So we want it to go golden brown all around, and it's going to really puff up as well, and that's what you want. Okay, so I'll see you in a little bit, my coquettes. See you in 20 minutes. Bye. Hi coquettes. Okay, so we're back again now. Now remember, my puff pastry is a lighter puff pastry, so it won't puff up as much as normal puff pastry does. But if you want to use the full fat puff pastry, you can. Oh. Okay, so we're going to turn the oven off. Otherwise you're going to be wasting all your electric or your gas, either one. So I'm going to take these off, I'm going to put them on there. Okay, there we go. Put that one back there. Cheeky little thing. What's it doing? There we go. Okay, so there we are, my coquettes. Your goat's cheese tarts. Well, thank you very much for watching, my coquettes. If you like the video, please press like, please share, and also we're going to show you on YouTube some other little tricks of the trade as well, but that's not till next week. Okay, my lovelies, well, have a nice weekend and lovely watching you. Bye, my coquettes.